All right, y'all. We're gonna start this show off the right way this time. We done had some technical difficulties, so we're gonna run the story back because I deleted it off of Facebook because I want to make sure that when this is out there, it is put out there crystal clear. DJ, can you give us just a little music in the background, and can you tone it down a little bit for the beginning of the show? Cause you had me about ready to shake some over here, and this is not the shake some mode. Uh, I'm sorry, y'all. But we're gonna start off with our intro like we usually do. It's your girl Shady Teri. Y'all stay tuned in. Go ahead, follow, like, share, tell a friend to tell another motherfucking friend. I got Lou Entertainment up in here. Hey, let's do this.
Y'all know what time it is, man. It's tit for tat. Yeah. Hey, Fred Ray, turn on Miss Teri, let's get it. It's time to tune into tit for tat. You know, tit for tat. You know,
we also got the boy. Everybody know her, and we
are. We put on for the city. Everybody rockin' with us. We the hottest thing around. We the biggest on. It's tit for tat. You know, tit for tat. You know, tit for tat. They know, tit for tat. Yeah. Hey, we put on for the city. Everybody rockin' with us. We the hottest thing around. We the biggest on. It's time to tune in for tit for tat.
Y'all so much for tuning in, for coming back. While we doing this right here, I'm gonna go ahead and take this opportunity to go in, find this episode, and go ahead and hit my ad follows because I've been saving this for the weekend. Lou, I'm gonna start this show all the way over. I do apologize about our technical difficulties,
right.
but if you don't mind, can you introduce yourself one more time for the people? Tell them who you are and how they can locate you.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Liana Pierre. My nickname is Lou. You can find me at Lou Helping Hands, the Your Magazine, and I do a couple of other things, but overall, my main platform is Facebook and Instagram. On Instagram, you can find me at Your Mag, or you can find me. See, my other Instagram is really long, so just scratch that. Overall, you can find me on Facebook or you can find me on Instagram.
All right, we're gonna go in. I'm gonna be a little petty first. How you felt about TikTok this morning when you got up?
Well, so, I didn't give a fuck.
A lot of people were hurt this morning.
You were, man. I didn't I feel like you can't, like my husband said, you can't put all your eggs in one basket.
Come on.
If you're gonna be creative, you have to use all these platforms. You can't
right.
just be using one.
You're right. You definitely right. That's how I felt. I was like, oh, okay. I'm gonna go steal as many videos as I want, but I'm gonna keep it moving because it is what it is. You can't do nothing about it. We're gonna dive right into Lou Pass. Y'all do me a favor, follow this live. Tell a friend to tell another friend. Share it, share it, share it. This is a very powerful show today. I decided to allow the team to sit this one out. Even the men, everybody, my team be ready to go. They were so willing to sit this one out because I wanted to create a free space and just let this be one of those Shady Teri moments.
Absolutely.
Minus the shade, y'all. We ain't gonna be shady. I like my shades. So, Matt Man, I like my shades. Matt Man, the DJ looking at you. Turn who up?
Oh shit.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. My bad, y'all. We had to put some music in here for y'all. But we're gonna start this story off, and I want you to go back and just tell us about your upbringing. Where are you from? Just a little bit about your past, because I went in, I asked a lot of people. I said, tell me something about Lou. Every time I see her, she is like this ball of energy. They was like, you just gotta know Lou. You just gotta meet Lou. Like everybody said that. Nobody would give me no tea, nothing. I was like, God damn, but go in and tell us a little bit about your past so we can make it up to where we at now.
Absolutely. I just want to thank. I'm happy we get to do this over again. I'm gonna try to make it sound better.
Oh, you good? You didn't do nothing wrong. That was us.
I appreciate that. I was born in Atlanta to my mom and my father. They were married. They're still married to this day. My father was allegedly extremely abusive. I never witnessed it at first hand, so that's why I said allegedly. And my mom ended up leaving my father. She went to New York City. My father followed her. So it was a lot of domestic violence, according to my mom. Yes, ma'am. My dad was part of the Bloods. Unfortunately, he hurt people. He sold drugs, and he was also a pimp. So that was a hard lifestyle for my mom to be involved in. So when my father finally left, my mom was dealing with a lot of men, and she would have sexual intercourse and sexual content with these men in front of me. There'll be days where I will come home, I will hide under the bed, and I will wait for my mom to come home, but she'll come home with a man. She would sit on the bed and do what she does sexually, and I used to hide under the bed. And it was kind of weird, but it was a very bad environment that I was growing up in, and it wasn't there was no guidance, there was no love, there was nothing like that. Every time I went to school by myself. I took myself to school, and we had no food in the house. I had a brother that I lived with. He was 5 years older than me, and he didn't allow me to have fun. He didn't allow me to laugh. He didn't allow me to smile. He was sexually and physically abusing me every single day until I turned 18 years old. Even when I was in foster care, unfortunately, he still got a hold of me. But living with my mom was really hard. Like I said, she wasn't there for me at all. I ended up at 14 years old. I met my first boyfriend, baby father. His name was Victor. He is an immigrant from Liberia, and he was great at first, but then he started abusing me heavily, like beating on me, tying me up to a fire escape, using me as a sex doll. And he just did a lot of fucked up things to me that should have never happened to a 14-year-old girl. I have a lot of brothers, but nobody saved me from that situation. So after having a baby by him, it took me looking at my son to know, like, okay, I gotta leave, because now I'm protecting myself and a whole baby. So the last incident I had with my baby father, he ended up pushing me on the floor while I had my son in my hand, and he kicked me in my face. And that was the opener. That was, okay, this is the last time he's gonna do this to me. So I left his father, and I ended up getting married really early to my high school sweetheart, Devon. At that time, I lost a son. I already had my son at 15, but I had another son named Cassidy.
Mm-hmm.
And if y'all know me, y'all see his name across my chest. And he passed away because he was mentally retarded. While I was pregnant with Cassidy, I was
so sorry. I'm so sorry about that.
It's all right. I don't want to blame myself, but I'm very realistic, and it was my fault. I could blame my mom too, but I don't really like blaming other people for my actions. I started taking the Rontin pill, which is a depression pill my mom used to take, and she was giving it to me. That was my drug, and I used to take the Rontin pill 600 milligrams like every single day, like 3 pills a day. I was going crazy. I was banging my head on the wall. I was cutting myself, and before I knew it, I was in labor, around 4 to 5 months pregnant. I was in labor, and I was in the bed. There was water everywhere. There was blood everywhere. My mom would come into the room. She'll look at me and then she'll leave. She didn't check up on me. She didn't care that was even going on. She was oblivious to what was happening. So I had a lot of friends at that time. I had one friend that came to the window, one of my ex-boyfriends, to check up on me because I was in the hood for like 3 days. He wanted to know where I was at. He checked up on me, and I was dying in my room. He picked me up and he took me to the emergency room. He saved my life, and his name was Sheldon Johnson from Staten Island, the Harbor. He saved my life. If it wasn't for him, I would have been dead. Like, there's so many times I could have been dead in my life. After Cassidy passed away, I didn't stop my shenanigans. I didn't learn a lesson at all. I was still sleeping with another young man by the name of Kareem Martin. He had a girlfriend, and I was a side chick. While this was happening, another young man by Darnell Porch was stalking me. And Darnell Porch ended up coming to my bedroom window and sexually assaulted me. I became pregnant, and while I was pregnant, I didn't know who the father was. If it was Darnell or if it was the young man that I was seeing every morning before he went to school.
Oh, girl, you gave me chills. You got me getting chills. I'm so sorry.
It's all right. I didn't know who her father was, and so I was in my bed, and I knew I was pregnant. And before Love, her name is Lavetta, my daughter, I had like 5 miscarriages before her because I was being sexually abused by my baby father. When I was with him, I had a lot of miscarriages. So I was aware that I was pregnant, and I knew how to have a miscarriage. So I started punching myself in the stomach to get rid of my daughter that I didn't know who her father was. But when I was about to go harder, something told me not to. It was like, no, you need this. This is your love. You need this. And that's how I got her name. I was like, this is my love. This is my baby. I felt like God was talking to me like, I know you're young. I know you don't know who the father is, but this baby's going to change your life. So I ended up having her. I went to my mom's room. I told my mom, like, listen, I'm pregnant again, but I don't know who the father is.
At that point, how old were you when you're on baby 3?
16.
That is definitely. I want to go back just a little bit before we get to love. Um, where's that relationship at now with your brother? Is he still a part of the family? Did anybody ever acknowledge that you were being abused, and that it was affecting your life?
Yeah. So when I reached a certain age, I was able to express myself. I didn't talk for a long time when I was growing up. I was very mute. I wasn't talking a lot. So when I reached around 18, I was able to tell my family this is what was going on. Nobody helped me. Y'all all knew what was going on. And my family, I want to say my Puerto Rican side, because I have two sides, my black side, my Puerto Rican side. My Puerto Rican side didn't want to believe any of it happened because there was adults in the house. So who you gonna blame? My
Yeah.
brother for touching me, or the adults that should have been watching us?
Yeah.
And it was the adults' fault. So nobody wanted to admit that they were wrong. And then when you go to my black side also knew what was going on, but they also didn't say nothing. They lived in Atlanta. They could have easily took me from that family and bring me to Atlanta, but they chose not to. So a lot of people were turning their heads again on me. They were telling people that I was crazy, I was delusional, and I was a liar. When I reached 25, everything changed. They were like, this did happen. We had to all apologize to her. I got a phone call from my sister. I wasn't the only one that was sexually abusing us. And the reason why I'm going to bring this up, because it's very important. I had a cousin, I'm not going to say his name because I respect him. I have a cousin that also sexually abused me and his sister, but it was something light. We were all the same age, and it was one of those things where it was just something light. When we all got older, and I also brung that up, he apologized to me and his sister. He didn't say, oh, I didn't do this. He said, I was young, and this is just something I did, and I'm sorry. Compared to my brother, who is in denial until this day. He's in denial. He never apologized. I haven't spoken to him like 10 years. So it is what it is. But I'm happy that he's still alive and he can change his ways.
He still got a chance to change. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So when love came along, like I said before, I've been in this same situation. By the time you had love, were you back home from foster care, or have you already been? Where did the foster care come into place?
The foster care comes into play when I was 14, and I was pregnant with my son Victor. So I was in foster care for a couple of years, and while I was in foster care, my mom was, I'm gonna quote that because I didn't see it, she was fighting for me in court, and eventually the courts allowed me to go back with my mom. And I was much older. I think I was like 17 and a half, turning 18. When I went back home with my mom, she wanted nothing to do with me. So that's why I feel like she wasn't even fighting for me, because now I'm home and she wanted nothing to do with me. She told me that her dream was to live by herself or with her girlfriend. She didn't want us. She wanted to be on her own. So I ended up marrying Devon Webb, which is my ex-husband, and that's another story. But I'm grateful for him, because I didn't know who my daughter's father was. And he took that responsibility. He said, that's my daughter. I'm going to take care of you, and I'm going to take care of her.
Okay.
So I ended up living with Devon and his family. And it wasn't that bad. They took me out of a lot of shit. But yeah, I was with them for a while.
How important was it for you? I know when I had my daughter, it was so important that she didn't see the stuff that was going on in my life. How did that work with you having to go back home with your children? How were you able to protect them? You was a child yourself.
Yeah, it wasn't. This is exactly what I did. I knew I was young. I knew that I thought I was older than what I really was, but I also knew that I didn't have as much power that I wanted. Every time I had a psychotic episode, every time I felt like I was putting my own kids in danger, I called ACS, which is Child Protective Services. People take ACS and they think these people are just going to come take your kids away, and that's not true. If you're a mother of children and you need help, they'll help you with counseling, they'll help you with therapy, they'll help you with medication management, and that's exactly what happened. I wasn't afraid that they were going to take my kids away. I was afraid that I was going to take myself away from my kids if I didn't change my ways. But yeah, they helped me a lot, ACS. They really did.
And that's a good thing that you said that, because I say that ACS also saved my life. A lot of people don't understand it, but I can honestly say I wouldn't be who I am or where I am today if it wasn't for a foster mom or DFACS actually stepping in and say, okay, this is enough. Something got to change. So shout out to them because a lot of people see, ACS as a bad thing. They are afraid of it. Don't call them. Don't do this.
Yeah.
You're snitching. But they can save lives. They save lives.
They do. They do.
All the cases are not the same, but in a lot of cases, they really do. And I shout out to Kathy Dattamore. That was my caseworker. She definitely saved my life. Definitely saved my life. So after love got here, where are we at in the story? You're 16 years old. We got love. You got somebody that you can love. That's all yours. But before we go there, did you ever feel any type with your son? Your love and your son is 3 years apart.
Let's see. Yeah, something like
3 years apart. Okay, so when love came along, tell us about what happened after love.
After love happened, I had to deal with my stalker, which is the man that R-worded me, which is why I didn't know who her father was. And he stalked me for a very long time. Like, that was literally my life, was him stalking me. We even went to the Steve Wilkos show. And we couldn't, I was supposed to go to the Steve Wilkos show with him, but because we had an order of protection, he wasn't unable to go to the show with me. So me and my ex-husband went to the show. But when love was born, that was literally my life was running away from my stalker. He was everywhere, every corner. He was texting me. He was threatening me. He even took me to court for a paternity test in 2016, and he didn't win. They seen the proof, it was in the pudding, that he R-worded me, he was abusing me, he abused my daughter, and they were like, no paternity test is gonna happen. She belongs with me and my ex-husband at the time. So it was a lot. Like, the stalking was a lot. It was like every single day. I used to go outside like a Muslim wearing shit over my head and face because I always felt like he was watching me. And I felt more relief when I moved to Georgia and I was like completely away from him.
Oh yeah.
But while I was married to Devon, my ex-husband, he was a great father to a certain extent. And so he decided to not come home. He was stealing my money. All my money went on drugs, marijuana. And I just couldn't deal with it. And I think it was in 2013 is when we went to the Steve Wilkos show, and he failed a lie detector test. He cheated on me multiple times, and I just felt like I was worth more than that. So when we went back home, he ended up leaving me in that house with my kids. It was a $1,300 apartment, only 2 bedrooms. It was the size of a pizza box, and he left us there. So he stuck me with the rent, all the kids, and just everything. I ended up going into a homeless shelter because I lost both of my jobs. I couldn't take none of my kids to school. And while I'm going through this, my husband was doing his own thing all by himself. When I went back to the house to get my stuff for my kids, most of my stuff is gone because her ex-husband stole everything. So even though he left us homeless, he did what he did, abandoned us, he took more than that. He even, like, my child Victor had a stuffed teddy bear he had since he was born. That shit was gone. So my ex-husband really fucked us over at the end of it. But I ended up falling in love with my manager, and his name is Curvins, and I've been married to him for the past 10 years.
Okay. We're going to get into that love story because I've been watching and I love how y'all love. I love the fact that he allow you to be yourself.
Absolutely.
A lot of people be in relationships and they're not able to be themselves. So I definitely love that you are able to be Lou unapologetic. Like, this is Lou. After you was able to escape all of this stuff, everything that was going on, you dived in. Let's go to school. Let's go back to school before we get there. How was school? How was school affected? How was school affected by everything that was going on? You still got to go to school. You still got to do this. You still got to do that. You got a kid. How was school affected?
School, bro. I bombed school, bro. I bombed that shit. I regret it so much. But again, even though I didn't have no guidance in the house, I also had no guidance in school. I get so jealous or envy people that are able to tell me, oh, I had a teacher that helped me. I had a counselor that helped me. That's why I got through my school year. Nobody seen me. I was a ghost. I used to walk around with my head down. I failed every single class. I barely passed anything. I was always in summer school. I wasn't a bad kid. I came off, no offense to anybody, I came off a little autistic. There was something definitely off about me, and nobody whatsoever was giving me the guidance or care that I needed. So when I went to Port Richmond High School, was the last school I went to. And I was in there with my son. They actually had a daycare for teenagers.
Mhm.
So there was no excuse for why I failed if I was able to take my son to school.
True.
As soon as I was in school, I went to sleep. first class sleeping, second class sleeping, third class sleeping. For some reason, I slept a lot. I could have been deeply depressed, and this is why I sleep a lot. But I got left back in ninth grade 3 times. After the third year, I said I gotta go. This is not for me. So I ended up dropping out of school at 16, and I ended up going back to school 2 years ago. So I'm now in Coastal Pines trying to get my GED. I don't want to cry.
Go ahead, girl. I told you, say that safe word. We'll shut this live down.
It's really, really hard for me. Like, I know I'm not a dumb person, but when I open up a textbook and I try to read, I can't comprehend or process what the hell I'm reading. So it's going to be a journey for me. But if you are out there, you in your 30s, 40s, and 50s, it doesn't matter how old you are. Go get your education. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to stop until I get it.
Go ahead. I know that's all right. Don't give up on you. Don't give up on you. I'm glad you are at that point where you can smile. I watch a lot of your TikToks. I love the fact that you be eating that crab too. I ain't even gonna lie. I said we gotta bring her out here with some crab bags. But I definitely like the fact that through all of this, everything that you went through, you dive right into people. Tell me about how you got to the point where you know people has done nothing but ignore you, hurt you, abuse you, even from the teachers, the authorities in your life.
Yeah.
What made you want to decide, okay, I'm gonna give back to people?
I think I have a pure heart. I think even with no guidance and all the violence that I've been through, I think God just gave me a heart of pureness. Because I also asked myself the same question. I should have been hateful. I should have grew up and just hate everybody, like F this, F that. But it was the complete opposite. So while I was growing up, unfortunately, I used to abuse my pets. And I'm sure this is because the trauma that I was going through, not because I was an evil kid, but I used to beat my cats and I used to put them in really small areas and lock the door, and I used to rescue them like a day later because I wanted to feel like the superhero. So there was always a part of me as a little girl where I wanted to always feel like I'm helping people, the superhero, to the point where I would put my animals in danger so I can save their lives. So hold on, sorry.
Go ahead, take your time. We ain't in no rush.
So when I got older,
I got some tissue right there if you need some.
When I got older, I didn't want animals to be in pain. I didn't want people to go through what I went through. I didn't want people to. I used to sleep in hallways. I used to piss in elevators. I used to eat out of the trash can. I didn't want people to go through what I went through because it hurt so much. So that's why I went to helping people, and that's how I came up with Lou Helping Hands. The name Lou comes from a Haitian lady that couldn't say my name. That's where Lou comes from. Well, her name is Shelby. Shout out to Shelby from BK9, Brooklyn, New York. But she couldn't say my name. She was like, "You look like a Lou." So I went.
She just named you up.
She was like,
I was like, where Lou came from, Leanne? Because this is. I thought it was Lee for a second, and everybody was like, "Nuh-uh, it's Lou, girl."
So it definitely fit my character. So I just kept it. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I forgot your question.
How did you dive into helping people?
So I use Lou as Lou Helping Hands to help people, and I was helping fire victims. I was helping homeless people. I was helping abandoned pets, find them homes. So I was doing a lot of that stuff. But then I realized some of these people that say they need help, they don't fucking need help.
Come on.
They don't need help. They just want to use you for what you got, and they want to squeeze for everything you got. And when they're done with you, they're just gonna throw you to the side. So I dealt with people that had nothing but wanted more and more and more. In the back of my head, I'm like, you still on your fucking ass doing nothing. Why you want shit from me? Do some shit for your fucking self. So that's when I started, rethinking shit like, yo, I want to help people, but I can't help these type of people. How can I separate this from this? That's when I started helping artists and models. Because in this industry, you guys work so hard. You guys use your 9-to-5 paychecks to do what y'all need to do. You guys are working hard. So if y'all need some help, I'll be there to help y'all. I would like to guide you guys, help pay for studio time, help pay for a photo shoot, because those people are actually working. And at the same time they're working, they're also struggling. So I think it's a beautiful thing when people can go broke doing what they love doing.
Oh yeah, you're right. You trust me, I know. Ooh, Tiffany's is not cheap. Lord. So I definitely understand. Now you do got a cake sale coming up, a cake battle. Let's go into that. Y'all know I like cake now.
So I do competitions because I always try to find a way to give money. If you ask me, I just say, here, 100 for you, 100 for you, 100 for you. But you can't do things like that. You got to motivate people to get up and do shit. So the first activity, I'm not from Waycross. I live in Waycross. So when I'm in Waycross, I'm like, there's nothing here to do. What can we do? So the first thing I decided was like a creative doodle. And I would go to the library, and kids would come to the library. They paint whatever they want to paint. I do a little pizza party, and I give them some art supplies, and everybody goes home. You know, it's just a fun little thing we're doing. So my latest creative doodle wasn't really working out. I was like, you know what? Let me switch it up a little. Let me do something for the adults, the older people. So we decided to do a bake-off, and the bake-off came because my husband's birthday came up, and he never had a legit birthday cake ever in his life. So I went to a baker to make me a specialized bear cake for my husband because I call him Bear. So after she made that cake, I looked at the cake and I'm like, this is a lot more than a cake. This is an emotion. This is showing my husband that I love him. This is not just a slice of cake. So I wanted to take that and create something. So I created the bake-off so people can, you know, do what they love doing and possibly have a chance to win some money.
I
That's
like
where
that.
that came from.
Do you still have any openings for it?
I do, but it's all the way in Waycross.
Well, you know, I mean, if you're trying to get yourself out there, the
Absolutely.
location doesn't matter.
You're right. It's in Waycross. We have about 3 openings left.
Okay, all right. Well, I definitely want to go into that. I do want to go into, tell me about what's the difference in Lou Helping Hand and it's Yari. Let me go in and make sure I don't mess it up. Because I was saying, I know you had a magazine. What is the difference between Yar and Lou Entertainment? What are the is it your?
You have to do it. You have to do it. I say
Just
your.
for the people out there that told me how to say this, y'all fucked me up. Okay, so it's your.
It's like your.
Yeah. I was sorry, retarded saying this, Lou.
That's New York. That's some New York shit.
That's why I couldn't figure it out. I was like, where did she get this name from? I googled it and everything.
So your can be spelled either YERR, but majority of New Yorkers spell it YURR. And it's how we say hello. We just like your down the block, your, and that's it. So I decided to take your mag because I wanted to, when I was doing this whole artistry and stuff, I seen that people was jealous of each other. You know, I'm gonna say her name because a lot of people were jealous of Quay Baby. And I feel like Quay Baby is one of the best performancers I ever met ever. Like, she is dope. So behind the scenes, when people were saying this and saying that, I'm like, yo, why you're mad? Why are you mad? So that's how I came up with Your Meg, because the people that I write about and support.
I like. Okay. You're
Don't
mad.
be mad at them. Don't be mad at them.
I got you.
Yeah.
You don't work with a lot of artists. Give us some of the names that you have had the opportunity. I know you was working with. You don't work with a lot of people. You don't work with models. You don't work with a lot of people. If she leave anybody out, it's not against y'all. I promise you. It's a lot of y'all out there.
There is a lot of people. One of my favorite people is Devin on the Beat. I knew Devin on the Beat for the past, I want to say, 4 to 5 years. And I love seeing, when I first met him, he wasn't even where he was. Like, he's grown. He has his own building now. So definitely shout out to Devin on the Beat. And again, one of the best performances that I ever seen, and I worked with these people, was Buddy Pacino, Quay Baby, and Slim Hill. Even, once again, there's so many of them. Huncho was dope too. You know, that did some dope people. I think there's so many. I don't want to leave anybody out, so I just leave it right there. Those people that I just named, you guys are really dope. I really did enjoy working with them.
When is the next magazine? Because I want to be a part of it. I'm like, hold up now. This magazine got a lot going on. Is it a magazine or is it just your mag?
It's what you mean by that?
Because I thought it was a magazine. Mm-hmm. It is a magazine.
Yeah, it's a magazine. It's much more than just a magazine. But I started out doing a magazine because I realized a lot of people weren't doing magazines. So I'm like, let me do the magazine. And because I have a lot of learning disabilities and I'm dyslexic, it was a challenge for me to do the magazine. So I did it, and it came out pretty good. But when AI came out, I did.
I love it.
I do too. I lost a little. Okay, this is a true story. AI came out. And I'm like, you know what? I could probably use AI to make an AI magazine. Instead of me doing what I do, I can just use AI. Mm-hmm. So I did it. but I felt like I felt wrong doing it because it wasn't me, but it was me because it was my paragraph, but I just made it look a little better, type shit. But I felt like I lost a little bit of myself, so I kind of put it on a pause. I'm like, you know what? Let me pause that real quick and let me focus on other things, and I'm gonna go back to it. So I might go back to it. I might use AI. I might not. I just want to know how other people would feel if I took their story and used AI. You know, I'm not sure if they would feel offended that I didn't personally write it myself. So that's why I took a little break.
I usually and we are a big fan of chat. Yes, I'm a big fan of it. We use it a lot, and the one thing that I can say is the more you use it, the more it sounds like you.
Yes.
The more you use it, it was saying the other day, it was saying typically it don't spell our name like it because Shady Teri is not spelled with an I. When I say now, it's starting to spell it the way I spell it. So I definitely think that the more you use it, and it can only improve anybody.
Absolutely.
I recommend it to everybody, kids, everybody, because the more you see it, the more you learn from it. So
Absolutely.
you can put us in AI. Let AI tell our story for us. It probably gonna make me sound better.
That was definitely motivating. I'm definitely going to move forward and to do another magazine probably after the event June 1st. Probably after
Let's go into this event. Now, this is a private event, right?
Yes, most of my events are private.
Okay, tell us about the event that's coming up.
Oh, the event that's coming up. Okay, I gotta take a second. Every time I do the event, it's never one thing. I'm always doing a whole bunch of shit in one event. So we are going to be celebrating each other by doing a photo shoot. We have a high school reunion photo shoot. So I got some of my friends. We're going to come in as a stereotype of a high school, like a nerd, a skater, a teen mom, a pageant princess, teacher, all that stuff. So we come in, we're gonna do our photo shoot with Devin on the beach, and that's just something that we do. We like to have fun, and it's good for content.
We're gonna be the fat crew, y'all. You know, every school got that fat crew.
Oh my
God. We're
God.
gonna be the fat crew that come in. We're gonna have to all pull up. Now, we definitely got this on our calendar because we definitely want to show up. I've seen you work your magic at other people's event.
Yeah.
No matter where I seen you, I saw you.
Yeah.
You know, you don't fade in the background anymore. I just want to let you know that you don't fade in the background. People have recognized. I have spoken with so many people, and they had nothing but and this rarely happens. They had nothing but positive stuff to say about you. Jay Bunny was like, I'm ready to work with her again. Lady Breeze was like, hey, tell her I said, hey, that was on one of our last comments. So everybody has nothing but positive stuff to say about you. Now we're gonna dive back just a little bit. Everybody was laughing at my reel. Where the hell this roaches shit come from? Everybody was like, what's up with the roaches?
That's so funny, bro. So I ain't gonna say his name or anything like that because, you know what I'm saying, I don't need to say his name. But I got into it with somebody because we were supposed to be friends, but I always have a problem with making friends with males, and I'm sure a lot of women have a problem with making friends with males because all they want to do is fuck you. And they would text you weird shit. And in the back of your head, you're like, you don't want to feed into it. You just really, really want to be friends. And you don't entertain it, but you're like, listen, I'm not interested. But they don't get the fucking hint. They go over and over and over to the point where it feels like sexual harassment. So when he realized that I wasn't the type and nothing was gonna happen, he unfriended me on Facebook.
Oh, wow.
That's cool. Like, that's some kid shit right there. Like, you gonna unfriend me? Whatever, bitch ass.
That means he was more interested in you than he was the talent.
Yes, absolutely. And that was it was very hurtful for me because even though I knew he was like doing too much, I still fucked with him. Like, I loved him so much, bro. And he does so much good things for people in the city. And I already know sometimes just because I don't fuck with you doesn't mean someone else can't fuck with you. Sometimes we're not made for each other.
You're right.
So when that happened, a lot more happened, whatever, baji. He ended up posting, and I wish some people would listen to this for real. He ended up posting a video of me bombing my car, which had a lot of fucking roaches in it because whatever the reason why I did. But when the time that we was bombing my car, he was my friend. So we put the bombs in the car, we getting rid of the roaches.
So he had already had an alternative motive for him to record it.
He was recording without me even knowing he was recording. My husband, I was on the phone with my husband when this was going on before I knew he was recording. My husband's like, are you sure you want him to help you bomb the car with roaches? You really trust people like that? And I'm like, yeah, it's my friend. And it backfired. So when he unfriended me on Facebook, and I ended up going to one of his people and saying, listen, he doesn't fuck with you neither. He ended up going around and he posted the video of the roaches.
Oh wow.
And it didn't, I don't get embarrassed. I could fart right now. I won't be embarrassed.
Come on now. It's not for no roaches. They everywhere.
That part right there. He tried to embarrass me. He tried to make me look like I was the dirtiest person in the world. And it's not like that. Some people live in property where the roaches were there first. And that's the type of property I live on. And the car that I was, there's no excuses. I don't give a fuck. But the car I was using wasn't even my fucking car. So I didn't care as much as I should have cared. So after that, I just felt like I should be more open about roaches and stuff like that, because people automatically think this is a bad thing. You dirty, you nasty. And that's not the situation. These motherfuckers are evil.
They here before us. It's almost impossible to get rid of them if they here before you.
Every 3 months we gotta bomb the house. Every 3 months we gotta evacuate, and that's just a part. It's not about having roaches. It's about, are you containing? Like, are you making a change? Are you, what's that called? Exterminating. Like, you gotta take care of your house.
Oh yeah.
If I was so nasty, why am I bombing the car in the first place? You know, shit like that. But it is what it is. So I think it's funny as fuck when I see a roach crawl behind my wall and shit. People are like, oh, there's a roach. I'm like, yeah, his name is Sally. Fuck.
I like how you turned your, what did they say? You turn your lemons into lemonade.
Really?
Did that make it harder for you to work with people in the future or to friend people in the future? Because when you got somebody that's close to you and they kind of betray you, does that make it harder for you to be like, or do your husband say, all right now, you're getting too friendly, you remember?
Yeah, my husband does do that. He gives me an eye, like a look at, and then it doesn't, how can I say this? What he did to me didn't change how I treat other people, because you should never change for anybody. You should just be yourself unapologetically. I can't pronounce that word.
You did it.
It did change the way I viewed certain situations. So now when my male friends, like just the other day, I intentionally was going crazy on Facebook because I posted one of my videos where I had a nipple slip. But to me, that stuff is funny. You have to go ha 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 or ha ha, you know, whatever. You're not gonna be like, oh, I want your nipple in my mouth. Like, what the fuck you mean you want my nipple in your mouth, bitch? That wasn't an invitation for you to say that. So
I'm trying not to laugh, but
so I'm just like, they're doing too much. Why can't you just laugh? On top of that, I'm a nudist. If I see anyone naked, I'm not gonna go, oh, there goes her pussy. You know, it's a pussy, it's a titty, it's a nipple. Like, relax. So someone hit me up, and after that shit, I'm gonna remove him from my Facebook. I'm just not gonna do it right now. I'm gonna let him sit there. But I don't like shit like that.
You are free with your body.
Absolutely.
You are very free with your body, and some may say when you are that free, it opens up a door for people to feel like they can say stuff like that.
Absolutely.
You had voiced that you are not into men like that. You know, you love your husband. You are that relationship is concrete because of your past life. And if you've ever really went in and watched, because I did a lot of stalking.
Yeah.
I knew your story before we got here today, and that's because I did a lot of stalking your page. If you follow you know your story. You know your pain. You know everything because you're very open with it.
Yes.
How did you get to a point where you were so open with your body? Was that something you were around people that did it, or it was just a decision that it's just a body?
I think it came to me naturally. It came to me as if my past life I was already naked. I was an Indian running around with a leaf on my, you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember being 13, 14 when I made my first YouTube video, and I was half naked dancing to Rihanna, work, no. It was coming Rude Boy. It was Rude Boy, and I was dancing to it. That was my first video I ever posted. And then I got a lot of backlash on it. That was back in 2008, 2009, before Miley Cyrus was twerking. I was doing that shit before Miley. I was doing it before a lot of people, before Cardi. I was out there doing it, and I was getting judged. And it made me come out with something called skin. I put hashtag skin. You should feel confident in whatever body you're in. If you want to be naked, if you want to have clothes on, whatever. So even though I was feeling the backlash a part of me wanted to fall back, but I'm like, but this is who I am. I'm not gonna put on clothes because y'all tell me to put on clothes. I feel free without clothes, and sometimes I want to wear clothes. I have so much clothes in my house, but I wear the same shit every fucking day.
You look good, girl. You
Thank
came
you.
here. I'm talking about came here pink down. I love it. I love it. I like that you are free, but I do see that you are different, Lou, when you dance.
Yeah.
Tell me about what dancing do to you. When you get, girl, you fight with that damn hula hoop. I want a goddamn. I was like, I'm gonna try the hula hoop. I went and got that little loop. I couldn't even get that shit to go around me. It just stopped. It just.
That is so funny. I have a lot of mental diagnosis from my doctors. One of my mental diagnoses that I do, I put on the pedestal because it helps me with my craft, is my borderline personality disorder. So I have different personalities, and when I dance with my hoop, I'm a whole different person. When I'm naked, I'm a whole different person. You know, it's just these are characters that I become that character. When I dance, I feel like I'm on crack. It feels absolutely amazing. I feel like the music is going into my soul. Like, and I can't do TikTok dances. I can't dance how everybody be dancing.
Yeah.
I can't follow what other people do.
Mhm.
I only can do what my body tells me what to do.
I definitely see that you are free when you are dancing because, like you said, it's a totally different person.
Yeah.
When I see your other videos and I saw your other vlogs, I could definitely see that when you had that, when you danced, you were to me the most freest. So
Yeah.
don't stop doing it. Don't stop being free. Y'all don't get mad at me because Lou said I can be naked now. Don't fucking get mad. I might be next, Lou. I swear.
So I might be next.
Yeah, it's hard to be comfortable in your own body, you know, especially with the world constantly telling you no, no, no. How do you block that shit out?
How do I block it out? That shit's funny as fuck. It should even they did like, why you worried about me, bro? That's how I block it out. Why you worried? Like, it's like when people like, why you naked? I want to be naked more. I'm about to spread my legs and show you everything. Like, what you mean? So that's shit that people need to worry about what they're doing. As long as I'm not out here killing nobody, hurting people, they shouldn't be concerned on what I'm doing.
Do you have supporters that do support you being able to live in your own truth?
A lot.
That's good.
A lot. I can't name them. There's certain people that I will walk around, hey, you're Lou, or oh, I know you for dancing. I have no idea who these people are, but I show them still love and respect. Like, thank you for following me. So it's just, I have a lot of supporters.
I definitely, I can see that because I started watching your story. At first, I was like, ooh. And then when I saw you dancing, I was like, I need to follow her. And then when I saw you with that hula hoop in you is just like, it's another totally different character. So don't stop what you're doing. We need more people like you. You know, you haven't allowed your past to dictate who you are today. Like, that is some powerful shit. Like, because even I am very, very closed in with certain things. You are an open book, Lou.
Yeah, I am. Because life is literally so short. So if you're holding back just a little bit, you're not gonna regret that when when you have like your life is flashing before your eyes. You don't want to say, "Damn, I wish I did this," or "Damn, I wish I did that." When I die, I'm gonna die in peace.
Come on.
I know that I did everything that I wanted to do to make me happy.
Come on, I like that. Let's go into your love life now. You and your husband. You got 10 years, about to be 10 years strong. Tell the people that are out there that have been in a situation. Me, myself, it took me forever to find love. Like, I can honestly say that because of my past. Tell us just a little bit about your love life and how he was able to cope with Lou and all the pain that he got.
Yeah, that's before I start speaking. If you give me 1 second, Provence, do you mind if I get a little bit personal with our situation? No, you're okay. I had to ask my husband permission because you're gonna understand why when I proceed.
Oh yeah.
My love life was a train wreck when I first started dating, obviously. But I feel like I haven't been single since I was 13. I've always had a boyfriend. I always had some sort of husband. I have not been single for years. So after Devon, my high school sweetheart, abandoned us and stole everything, he did what he did. I was working at a restaurant called BK9 on Park Slope, Brooklyn, New York. That's where I met my husband, Kirby. His nickname is Kirby. I'm going to call him Kirby from now on. Okay. So Kirby comes from Haiti, and he came over here with the TPS holder status. So he's not allowed to stay here forever. He's only allowed to stay here temporarily. And every single year, every 2 to 3 years, we got to pay like $5,000 to $7,000 for him to stay here.
Oh, wow.
So when I first met him, I didn't really understand what an immigrant was or meant. I just thought immigrants were Mexicans that was running around and shit.
That's all they teach us in school.
Exactly. So I knew he was when he told me he was an immigrant and shit like that, it didn't really, I didn't care. Like, it wasn't something that whatever, you're a handsome man. But when I first met him, I didn't like him. His arms were too scrawny, and he was wearing this white beater. He was so unattractive. I'm like, who the fuck do you think you are wearing a white beater and shit? And we was at a restaurant. He just wasn't. He wasn't something I liked until somebody in the restaurant fucked with me. So I went to my manager, which was Kirby, and when I told Kirby what happened, he told me to deal with it by myself. He like, oh, figure it out. I'm like, what the fuck you mean figure it out? And that's when I became attracted to him. Because he told me to figure it the fuck out. And I want to know what was his problem was. So I started stalking him and shit. And I started getting jealous when he was taking other drunk females home. But my husband is a very reserved, quiet man. He's not one to take a drunk girl home and try to have sex with her. He wants to make sure she gets home safe. So when I realized he was taking drunk girls home, I'm like, let me get drunk. Let me start drinking so he can take me home. And that's exactly what happened.
You went and got your man, huh?
So he started taking me home, and before we knew it, we just fell in love. Like, deeply, deep. Like, it wasn't just love, it was a spiritual bond that we had. And now that I've been with him for 10 years and I know his situation, now he has to renew his TPS holder status. Everything, it's heartbreaking. Because this man married me when I had 3 kids, 3 different baby fathers. And he still married me. And he still took me under his wings and took care of me and these kids. And that's, I don't want to say that's what a real man does, because a real man can easily say that's not what a real man does. He's a bitch, you know.
Anyone that's a real man.
That's a real man. He was a stepfather that stepped up, and it was amazing. So to know that he can't be here permanently, knowing other Americans that are here not doing what they're supposed to be doing,
don't deserve to be here.
They don't deserve to be here. That shit's wild to me. But yeah, we're gonna celebrate our 10-year anniversary June 1st. So after the photo shoot, it's gonna be turned into our event celebrating our 10-year anniversary.
Okay, we'll be there, y'all. Tip Attack gonna be there. We're gonna be in them fat kid suits. We're gonna be ready. Man, tell the team we're gonna have to get some baggy pants. You know, back in the day, everybody used to wear them baggy pants and just fat all the way over. All of us fat. By then, hopefully I had the baby a little bit. I don't know. No, I don't know. I'm gonna be big. We definitely gotta be the fat team. I'm gonna be big as hell. So I'm definitely I love the fact that you found love at the end of all of this. Both of y'all found love at the end of all of this. I really, really like, to me, that's like the cherry on top, because love can get you through so much. It can get you through over so many humps, over so much. So for the fact that neither one of you have decided to give up, especially with a story like ours.
Yeah.
It is hard to love me. It is not easy because I have PTSD.
Yeah.
I always think somebody's gonna leave, or somebody's gonna abuse me, or somebody's not gonna, treat my children. I've always been super protective of my kids. So it is so hard to love a Lou.
Yeah.
Especially in a forever relationship. So I'm happy that you found love. I'm happy that you smiling. I'm happy that you're shining. I'm happy that you don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck.
Like, I really do like that. Tell the people about some of the other things that you have going on, so that they can kind of go in, because you're more than your past. I just wanted to go through the past.
But the most important thing out of this whole entire thing is my mental health. Because I've been through so much, and I have all these diagnoses: bipolar, schizophrenic, homicidal, suicidal. Going through that every single day is more of a challenge than anything else, even than my brother sexually abusing me. I'm about to say something I'm not going to say, but I have to be on my medication every single day. every single day. And I just want to motivate other people that might be in a situation that I'm in. You guys are afraid to go on medication or take medication because it's government this, government that. My medication saved my life. I'm able to have a normal life. I used to have tantrums a lot. I used to scream a lot. I used to break things. I used to self-harm. I don't do any of those things no more because I'm taking my pills. And it is what it is. But yeah, and on the side of that, I think that's
We need to normalize that though. I
Yeah.
think people need to norm. We grew up, especially if you were a kid in the 90s, where if you took medicine or you saw a therapy, you were
Yeah.
crazy.
Yep.
Like, I think that a lot of people are in prison, a lot of people are in situations that they can never get out of because they never dealt with their mental health.
Yes.
So it is important that you deal with it so that you are able. Short story, y'all. So recently, my daughter told me, "Mom, you can go from 0 to 1,000 quickly."
Yeah.
And the way I grew up, it was like, baby, I'm going from 0 to 2. You have no idea from my background.
Yes. Yes.
But it made me realize I need mental health. It made me realize that I need to step in for my mental health because why am I going from 0 to 1,000 easily?
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people are afraid to talk about their mental health because I don't want to, disqualify for a job, or I don't want to be able to, I don't want my friends to think I'm crazy. I think you're crazy when you don't deal with it.
That's a fact. A lot of people have anxiety. I'm gonna say this because I want to say this. I'm so sorry. I'm big on men's mental health. It's so easy for women with children to get help, and it's so difficult for our men to get help.
Yep.
And that to me is so sad and embarrassing, if you ask me.
Oh yeah, especially in the black community because they're picked on, they mocked, you're retarded or you're crazy or they take pills. I think that black men don't deal with their mental health. They brush it under the rug because that's what their dad did.
Absolutely not. I also feel like my brother Michael is going through that. Michael has never seen counseling. Michael has never went on medication. When I'm not on my medication, Michael's my brother that sexually assaulted me. I remember him being extremely evil, but I feel like if he got the help that he needed, he wouldn't be the person he was today. He's extremely paranoid. My mom thinks he's gonna die soon because he's always calling her saying that people are watching me. He can't keep a job. I can relate myself to my brother when I'm not on my medication. So I really want y'all men to, get the help that y'all need. Don't be embarrassed.
Definitely.
Don't be shy. Especially if you have kids and a wife. We want you guys here. We want you guys to be happy.
We need you healthy.
Yes.
I definitely agree with that. Yeah, we're not gonna hold up the storyline here today. If you could give out any advice for anybody out there, what would that advice be?
If I can give out anybody advice, don't lose yourself.
Come on.
That's my advice. Don't lose yourself, because if I listened to people that didn't like me, comments, or they say so many mean things about me, and if I listen to any of that, I wouldn't be as happy as I am today. Just don't lose yourself. Fuck it. Mind your business. Do what makes you happy. Don't apologize for it, and that would be my advice to anybody.
I like it, y'all. We are going to wrap it up here today. Before we do, tell the people how they can locate you one more time for the people that are just tuning in. How can they locate you, who you are, and that way they can go in and find you and follow your story? Because if you pay attention, her story is out there. You just got to follow her.
Yeah, thank you. My Instagram is your mag, so it's at YERRMAGG, which is very easy. When you hit the Your Mag Instagram, you'll see my
Like that. Yeah, we're gonna get up out of here. Thank you so much for coming. We definitely appreciate you coming. Like I said, I wanted to go in because I want people. Nobody could explain you to me.
Yeah.
Nobody. And I thank them for not being able to, because sometimes people can put a story out there that's not really there.
Yeah.
I think this kind of will paint a picture for everybody that couldn't explain you, why you are, what you do, the things you do, and why you love being free. Like, girl, keep doing it. Don't let nobody change you. Like I told you in that message, we love you for you. We don't want you to change yourself, because if you did change yourself, I probably wouldn't like you.
Oh,
so,
but I'm happy you love me. I love you.
Oh, I love you too, girl. We ain't done, y'all. We definitely gonna be doing some things in the future together. Let me know when you're ready to network. We definitely tip the tap want to network with you. Want to go in and see how we can assist. our goal over here is to be able to uplift people, whether it's a business, music, whatever way it is. And it's not just music for us. We try to be so much more. We want to uplift the community. So if you got something going on you need some support with, hit us up. If you can't get me, I promise you, if you hit him up, he gonna get me.
Absolutely.
That be gonna be going, y'all. We are up out of here. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We love y'all. Quack that tea, y'all.
Oh, that was great.
That was great. I love it.
You got me sweating. Yeah, we combined. It's like we went got in.
Look, that's probably Fred over there. You been smoking?